I think I'm live. Yes. Yay. I tell you, this pressure of time. And so I didn't write out a script, but I turned around and wrote up or took an old script from 2024, May 9th, 2024. Well, this is Clear Blue Radiance, and I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, your host. I've been a spiritual counselor for over 40, 45 years, and I enjoy helping people such as yourself gain greater clarity with yourself and sometimes redefine your purpose in life. We all have purpose, and as we change, the purposes that we have change accordingly. So, this is funny because I've been up since 6 o'clock a.m., getting ready, meditating, doing whatever I need to do to get ready to go live for a change. And then while I was typing, seeking to type up a concept or subject matter, metaphysical topic, my mind went blank. Now, after my mind goes blank, I go, you know what? Rather than pull up, download, or down up, load up through my higher self to get this information, I said, I have copies of previous scripts from previous shows. And the one that stood out in my mind is apropos for today. If you jump into another timeline, what would you choose to create? If you jump into another timeline, what would you choose to create? And this is for today, Thursday, the 26th of February, 2026. And you know what today is universally, according to numerology? Today is a 29 slash master number 11 slash number 2 slash universal day. So 29 means to forge ahead. That's what I was doing. 9 is fire, right? Aries. I have Aries ascendant. Then there's 20 plus the 9. So 20 is Pluto, which is transformation, the higher octave to Mars. Then 2 plus 9 is master number 11. And the master number 11 is visions and dreams and secrets and mystical things and how our dreams can help us out. So, the opportunity is to share this particular topic. But first, are we jumping out of fear or assurance that we know why we are jumping? Well, when I was in grade school, and I know you remember from grade school, whenever we talked about history, right? And most of the time it was European history. But as time went on, they showed you all these different timelines from prehistoric time all the way up to the so called current year of time, millennium that you're in. And the interesting factor, they would show you a vertical line, and you would see paleontology era of time. You would see so-called caveman time. Then you would see, a particular time in history that they wanted you to see. And then it would keep going, and it would get you from one European country to the next, and then you might see something that was happening in Africa, and then you'd see something that's happening in North America and South America, and you'd see these different timelines. And I remember getting in trouble in the sixth grade, seventh grade, or eighth grade when the teacher said, anybody have any questions? So I said, so when do these timelines run out? They said, what do you mean? Well, we're looking at the different eras of time, and then at some point, you see what happened in South America as opposed to North America, as opposed to Asia, as opposed to Europe, the UK. But are we seeing this like this vertically? It's supposed to look at some point, something has to line up. So it's kind of hard to look at it. And then I remember the teacher goes, we're not going to talk about that. And there was a a teenager or a grade school girl in my class who had the same idea too. She says, "Well, we just was taught recently that the galaxies spiral in and out of each other." And he goes, "Yeah, that's true." So she said, "How do you have a vertical timeline if time is what it appears to be? I don't know how to explain it, Mr. So and so, but the time we're in is spiraling in and out of each other." And everybody looked at her, and then she looked at me for approval. And I said, "Mm-hmm." There's something's wrong here with this history class, with this period of time. Doesn't make sense. So keep that in mind. Time is spiraling in and out of each other. The galaxy works on a swirl. When they see the overhead shot, galaxies working on a swirl. Which way is the swirl going? You can't really determine. Why? Because when you look across, everything looks like a series of concentric circles. And if that's the case, everything looking like concentric circles when you're looking across, that means that every planet has its own orbit in the particular Milky Way galaxy. But what about the other galaxies? So we might think that everything's in a straight line. No, it's running in a circle. And this is why they keep telling you certain planets line up, three planets line up, six planets line up, seven planets line up. Well, they're catching up to each other at some point, and we see them appearing to be in a straight line. And they very well could be, but we don't know all the time because, hey, we're not living up there in the ethers like that. But here's the concept, it's a universal concept that's being shared literally around the world as I do this. People have arrived because of meditation, deep prayer, lucid dreaming, soul traveling, astral projection, out of body experiences, and deeper remembrances with ourselves. We're coming to the conclusion that this universal scale of time, this galactic scale of time that's going on, represents all these different lives and streams of life happening all at once. So when you think of it, or you begin to look at it, you realize everything's going on at the same time. And now we're feeling it because what? Time is accelerating. Man made time is collapsing, right? It's collapsing in on us. Just 8 hours ago, I was getting up in the morning planning this and then doing meditation and then doing how I do my own prayers, affirmative prayers, affirmations, and decrees. So I have a pleasant day today. And time is accelerating. Even to set this up to go online, time was accelerating. I wrote up the YouTube thumbnail file over on Canva, and then I said I got to upload this thing. I said, well, I got to send it to myself first, twice. Then before I knew it, I was encroaching 2 p.m. at 1:57 p.m. I said, how am I going to get this up there? So now I go shoot it into the Resident Essentials group page. I didn't even put it in the other pages yet. Then I realized it's 2 p.m. So I had to run around and realize, okay, now there's no sound. That always happens because everything, it's like crunch time. Everything is getting pulled in together. So it doesn't feel like I'm really doing any work because I don't even know what's going on because of all this constant acceleration that's going on. As I always tell people, it appears that my week is more like Thursday to Wednesday because I was just back here doing something on Thursday. 2 weeks ago, I was doing something on Thursday, and what I had to do, I had to pre-record because ran out of man-made time. Everything is accelerating. Everything is collapsing in on itself. Today is the 26th. Friday is the 27th. Saturday is the 28th. And what's Sunday, according to this Gregorian calendar system? It's my month of March on Sunday, kicking out. And you know what's going to happen in a few weeks after that, a week or two? Time is going to be moved forward, losing an hour. People, then the body has to get adjusted to that. And the only state I think that doesn't do that is the state of Arizona. They sit right there with the Pacific Standard Time. So they don't change. It doesn't go up or down. It stays consistent. So I say this is because many times we are doing things out of fear, out of pressure, uh, how we're viewing life being wasted, time and energy, or what we're doing, resources. We feel like we're in a rut. That's what the word wagon wheel is. It actually means a rut, caught in the mud, or of no true value. So now you start evaluating your life. Like, what's important? Now that I'm in my 70s, I go, what's really important? Is it attracting or creating the vibration for a huge house to come through? Nah, just want to be happy, period. I don't want to be bugged. I don't want to be bothered by what I might deem as silly conversation through my ego, but also through my higher self. I don't want to waste time. I want to do something that's meaningful. And that could be if I people say, why do you go out and get a bite to eat all the time? I says, because the people I interact with at these two Pacific restaurants, they know me by first name. That's something they have to do anyway. Know their custom regulars. But we interact. We have decent conversation, meaningful conversation. Not to say politics isn't meaningful, social activism isn't meaningful, but no one wants to live under constant stress all the time. So I go to places where I have a decent conversation. When I go to one of these restaurants, the owner is in there and he comes over and addresses me. And we have a simple 2 minute, 3 minute conversation. I was watching a TV show on my new TV set that one of my spiritual daughters bought for me. And the program was Cheers. I don't know if you all remember that TV show, Cheers. That's where you saw, what was his name? Well, also when Cheers was on, you had the TV show Taxi was on too with Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito's wife, Rhea Perlman, acts as a barista on the show that's called Cheers. And then that guy, Ted Danson, the thin guy, he was the owner of the so called bar. But there was a guy in there who passed away last year, actor with dark hair, kind of chunky guy. And his character name was Norm. And whenever he walked into this bar, everybody would greet him. Hi, Norm. And he straighten up his tie and go sit down in his suit. So you think of that, and I often laugh. That's what it's like for me. People will call. I don't let them call me Brother Francis or Reverend Francis. They call me, Hey Francis, Reverend. They'll say Reverend, and then everybody in the place goes. I go like, Hey everybody, how you doing? I go sit down. So the reason why I'm saying this, because time is moving fast, man-made time, because universal time, galactic time, is no match for man-made time. It is no match for man made time. Man made time is collapsing rather quickly. So that means these different timelines are accelerating, being pressured. Now, in this 3D realm of consciousness, we could think that we're still physical. That's the illusion. We've been hearing for years, 20 years at least, 30 years, that this is a simulated time frame. This is a quantum energy field. This is the matrix. And in Latin, the word matrix means womb. So the womb of creation is constantly matriculating everything that's on the inside of it, sometimes spitting it out as a new birth, sometimes expelling it as the blood of life. The universe has its own cycle, and it's cycle upon cycle upon cycle upon cycle upon cycle on the inside. And we are a part of that. Just like we're made up, our body is made up of what? Atoms, has an atomic structure and a molecular structure. And then the atom has what? Positive cells rolling around, negative cells rolling around, and then neutral cells rolling around. They call them protons and neutrons, right? The atoms. And scientists are taking the time to figure it out. Oh, guess what? There is things happening. We could prove it. We're seeing these molecular structures made up of atoms moving throughout themselves. Time happening at the same time. Things showing up one place, showing up someplace else. That's what the Philadelphia experiment was. If you look that up, along with the Montauk Project, they happened on the same day, August 12th or August 13th, but 40 years apart. And I can tell you, in 2003, on August 12th, I'm in Long Island, New York, thinking about going to a movie before a class, and they had what they call a surge, electrical surge, a brownout, supposedly out of nowhere. Everything blacked out. But what was really going on? Hmm? What was really happening in the world? Something was happening in the world. Yes, the great 2003 blackout. There was one in 1977 too, but the one in August 12th or 13th, was connected to the Montauk Project of August 12th or 13th of 1983, as well as, so that's 20 years up or down, 20 years down in the cycle, going back to from 1983, 40 years back in time, to the Philadelphia experiment. These things were happening. Timeline jumping was happening. And the intelligent agencies of the military training people to open up the third eye. They don't want nobody to know that. When President Clinton was in office, he used to talk about the Stargate program, but never explained it, right? Stargate was manipulating time, dealing with UFO trafficking coming through, humongous ships. And then people started talking about cloud ships in the sky, invisible to the physical eye. And then out of all of that, you have people who created what was called remote viewing, person that was an artist who had that awareness to go into and figure out how to do remote viewing. And they use it all the time. Huh? They don't want to tell anybody. And right now, people want to talk about UFOs as a sidetrack for something else that's going on. But here's the kicker: that which is the omnipotent one, the all seeing eye represents the omnipotent one, the all who sees all, knows all, creates all, is inside of each and every one of us. So some of us who are using the higher self are letting the ego get in the way, therefore falling off doing things that are negative, now trying to cover up all the negativity. It's not going to get covered up. None of it will. People say, oh, we're going to manipulate the weather and with the chemtrails. Yeah, but we're going to try to block the sun. And there's a whole lot of suns beyond this sun. And if any one of us who is awakened through our higher self starts to remember that you are a miniature sun, nothing will be blocked out from your sight, from your heart chakra. Nothing. There are people right now in the world practicing telekinesis from the age of 5 all the way up into the 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s, practicing around the world the power of telekinesis, moving objects, plastic bottles, creating wind, moving pinwheels in two different directions, picking up bottles, picking up spoons off of a table, because they're learning the scientific and metaphysical approach to telekinesis, which 20, 30 years ago, no one could tell anybody about it. But now there are people that are doing it. People who are creating homes, they call them psychic homes, where they invite each other to come in. Younger people in their 30s and 40s inviting each other to share a house together so they can develop their skill and take their children and develop their skill. I know one of the guys. I don't know him personally, but he has a book, and hopefully I'll get that book next week from my box location, where he's teaching the science and the different things you need to know. Is a person a water bender, fire bender, an air bender, working with earth? That's what he kind of calls it. And people are doing these things after 5 months, 3 months, 4 months of practicing every day, getting the concept down and understanding. But hey, Qigong masters did this too. They manipulated their Qi, make a tumor disappear in a woman's body over 3, 4 hours of time. Dynamo Jack from Chinatown in San Francisco takes a towel and wets it. Before he folds up the towel, he puts tinfoil in there rolled up. And what does he do? He works on a patient so that the patient doesn't burn. That's why the towel is wet. Then he takes a piece of paper, crumples it up, and boom, he puts it on fire with his chi. Yes. And there are people practicing telekinesis right now of all ages who are demonstrating this without fear. That's an amazing thing, Golden Timeline. And thank you, Will Talk Entertainment, for coming on. And there are other people in here at the same time. So I talked about this topic on May the 9th, 2024, on a Thursday. And it's apropos right now. So there are people out there trying to get us to copy other personalities, trying to get us to walk away from these natural abilities that we have. And now, because we see time, man made time collapsing like dominoes, that's your higher self trying to tell you, get this, let's have this relationship, me and you. Your higher self is looking on you. I already revealed in one of my topic discussions, whether here or on another channel or whatever, that okay, your physical body gives off energy. And it's been proven. Edgar Casey channeled it. He said, your body gives off this energy. And the word that he pulled out of the ethers while in a trance was aura, A U R A. Everything has an aura. radiates its own energy. That's how you can practice psychometry. There's residue of chi on objects, clothes, or bracelets, metal bracelets, crystal bracelets, rings, you name it. A person can pick that up and don't even know you and begin to describe you to a T. Now, here's something else. If we start to look at timelines, and I mentioned it earlier, are they linear or circular? Well, if they were timelines and they were linear, you wouldn't look down on a galaxy. It should be laid out, stretched out straight. You don't see that. You see it curled. So that's circular time. And like I said, we're taught everything's got a beginning and an ending, the Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. But here's the kicker, the real understanding. The first and the last consumes each other. That's why there were certain Masonic symbols, or like in the symbol of the Tarot, you see the magician. You see the magician, and the magician, he has one hand up pointing to the sky. He has a double pointed wand in one hand, and then he has a double pointed wand in the lower hand, and he represents the Alpha, but he is also the Alpha and the Omega, as above, so below. This circuitry of energy is important for us to understand. What we want to understand is this, that nobody is left out of the matrix unless you want to be. But there's a new matrix all over. New matrices, new wombs of creation happening all over, not just in one little tiny spot. Astrology teaches you circular time, right? Shows you a wheel, 12 signs divided up into four. Then it shows you the different houses and what they all represent and what the elements represent. And then you learn as time is moving this way, you're reading it this way, counterclockwise, and on the other side, the time is running into you, moving clockwise. Very interesting, huh? Meeting each other. In the tarot, with the magician card or the Meiji card, they show that as a green serpent, like a band around the waistband, eating its own tail, consuming itself in and out, in and out, in and out. This is happening all the time. This is why you're not going to be able to block out the sun, because you are the sun. You're not going to be able to uh, take all the water away from people, because you're going to create it. There's people we have not seen yet who are in their 20s and 30s creating gasoline. And somebody already has done it over there in the continent of Africa. Akibulan, someone has already done it. Person's picked up all the plastics, melted it down, and turned it into fuel. Things are changing rapidly. We're being pushed to think faster and faster and faster. And here's the thing we should acknowledge. None of us are supposed to be working on how perfect we can be. Just be presently aware. Keep remembering your true self and stay in the present moment. You know that when you inhale and exhale, there's a gap between the end of the inhalation and the beginning of an exhalation. It's the transference of power within yourself. I call it the gap. And when enough of those gaps line up, then you see who's watching you. It is not a man made robotic thing, AI watching you at all. It's you, the higher self, watching yourself. You, as the higher self, coming down into these different realms of consciousness and seeing yourself. Yes, pure magnet. You're it. People think they can pick up a gun and shoot somebody and kill somebody. Don't understand when they do that. What happens? The soul of the body is released and is in a different timeline. They don't know we should torture the person here. That won't work either, because people as young as 4 and 5 years of age are beginning to remember who they truly are. And what are they remembering? Death is an illusion. Life has death within it, but death is an illusion. Night and day is an illusion. Oh, we're experiencing it. Why? Because there's at least 1 trillion people. If there are 1 trillion people on the planet, there are at least 1 million people that are caught up in the illusion. It truly is dark outside. Oh, it's getting light outside. Oh, there's sunrise. Oh, there's sunset. Oh, sunset. Oh, the moon is over my head. The sun is over my head. Yet, tag, you're it. You're the one that's causing it to rise and set. Just like they have mobile towers. But you remember when they first used the cell phone, mobile towers weren't on top of neighborhoods. They were way down the road where the rail tracks were. Computer is based on you. Cell phone is based on you, which tells you something. Don't be on the computer too long. Don't be on your cell phone too long. Use some shungite plates or chips. Wear them or stick them on the back of these things, or put the shungite in the gem form, or use an organite, maybe in the shape of a pyramid or like this, or to block down the frequency. It's coming off the screen to me. Sometimes have plants in your house, but the strongest plant to have in your house is a cactus plant, because the cactus can accumulate and hold negative energy floating around your house. When it busts open, that's when it's done its job. But it didn't release the gaseous energy into your space, it absorbed it. It changed the frequency of it. All this stuff is happening for us to experience. So, what we have to come to realize is, and let me finish my statement, astrology deals with circular. So, it deals with eras and arcs of time or degrees. And a degree is an increment of truth that you're able to see. So, we always have a choice. Reverend Ike used to say that in his teachings. If there's something that you want, first make up your mind what it is that you want. What's the difference between what you're wanting, what you desire to have, and what is necessary? Reverend Ike was teaching that. Neville Goddard was teaching that. Now they have a simulation of a guy named Abdullah, who's been an Ethiopian teaching Neville Goddard that. A lot of teachers. The most important thing is you teaching yourself, you going within inside yourself to get the information yourself. So we have this choice: daily choice, nightly choice, weekly choices, monthly choices, yearly choices. But when we look at it, that choice, once we know what that choice is, once we make that decision, now, once you do that, the universe now conspires and forms the energy so that you can receive the thing that you're asking for. If I say that I want peace, I just can't say I want peace just because of me. No, I have to be the open door and let peace come in. The universe will send it in from different levels, different layers, different stratas in life. It'll send me that. But then I have to pay attention to my body, the cellular memories in different parts of my body. Say, well, did you eat today? Because if you didn't eat today, you better drink a lot of water. And if you didn't drink a lot of water, then we need to consume some food so that we don't pass out. So we don't walk out into the ethers and leave you there, Brother Francis, on the ground. We are being pumped with the blood of the universe, the plasma of the universe, the solar light plasma of the universe, all the solar vibrations of the universe. We're beginning to remember these things. So therefore, we make a choice. We're making the choice, move or not. Somebody says, you should move to another country or all hell is going to break loose. That's their fear. If I set this up in my mind, I'm going to be all right. All right. Perpendicular, still standing. If I say to the universe, with through me, that I'm going to live a long life and I'm going to be happy. Once I release that thought, that with the feeling of happiness with it, the universe is going to say, okay, got it. Now we're going to create more experiences for you to have. But we want you to be grateful that we're creating it for you. All you got to do is prepare yourself to receive it, to experience it. We are creative beings who are an integral part of the divine source. We are alive as rays of light emanating from the heart of the divine source, constantly picking it, putting it out there. What's that little thing I thought about yesterday? Johnny Appleseed, planting apple seeds. Apple seeds, right? To see apple trees grow to produce the fruit. We have to do the same thing. We have to continue producing the fruit at a higher level. So we got to keep planting a higher consciousness level seed into the earth, which is the heart of humanity. We are the ones who are remembering, dreaming, having lucid dreaming, having out of body experiences, like I said earlier, and communicating with our higher selves through meditation, through actual conscious channeling, through communication telepathically with you. We do all as the observer, the seer, the prophet, the creator, the mother, the father, divine masculine, divine feminine, creation. When you are in a deep state of meditation, you are entering into a state of deep awareness and knowing the truth in all events. And this is from my own words. All events, thoughts, feelings, and so forth. By using meditation, you can trigger yourself to be in a conscious state of perpetual meditation. That means when you come out of deeper realms of meditation, you bring the feeling with you. You can still interact with other people, but now the energy is flowing through you like the chi does in the work called Qigong. It's flowing through you now. You don't have to hold on to all of it. You just have to release some of it back into the earth where you got it from, and some across at the top of the earth into ponds and lakes and trees and bushes and flowers and bees and everything else up into the atmosphere. It's supposed to be impregnated with chi from everybody that's purified chi, not that chi with a narcissistic personality is trying to influence. Conscious perpetual meditation happens when you are aligned through your chakras, which are then aligned to the hearts of Mother Earth, or known as Gaia, and then the universe. This is exactly what ancient master yogis, Qigong masters, and masters like Siddhartha Gautama and Paramhansa Yogananda use your meditation to sense, feel, see, and create the desired life. That means you're constantly putting it out there. And we might say, "Oh, this is a little tiring. I need to take a short break, take a nap." But what you should do is, while you're taking a nap, before you go into the nap zone, still talk to your higher self and say, "Well, I'm going to rest my eyes. I'm going to rest my physical body, but I need you to continue to bring up the information already embedded in my sympathetic form, in my etheric body, in my ethereal body. Let me remember what I need to remember right now." Then you can go off to sleep. Hopefully, you start to dream. I've said before, last month or so, if your physical body has an aura, Akhenaten and Nefertiti say, what is the aura of your higher self? What is the aura for and of your higher self? The answer, it is your soul. People say, I got to correct the soul. You can't correct the soul. The soul is an extension of your higher self. You just need to talk to the extension of your higher self, which is your soul in itself, and get it to realign itself with the higher self, so the higher self begins to guide you. The soul is like a magnet, like a vacuum cleaner. You know how a vacuum cleaner works, right? Sucks up all the dirt out of the carpet. The only difference is you got to control how big is the dirt particles, and can you constantly vacuum the same rug that's so minuscule is it's not even worth burlap. You go to the area too much, you pull up the naps out of the carpet, and then you got the screen where everything was woven into the carpet. Unless you got a real thick carpet, or like people do nowadays, it's best just to walk on the wood, polished wood floors. Why? It's easier to keep clean than a carpet. So it lets you know you're working on something constantly. All life as information is felt, discovered, explored, and embraced through the true center of becoming and knowing and being, and that is your heart. That's what you need to know. That's what you have to come to understand, to remember. Everything is in motion all the time. There's not one thing that is never in motion. All of it is. So before I sign off, if you happen to live out here in the state of New Mexico, in our city of Albuquerque, New Mexico, all the different parts like the North Valley, the South Valley, or Los Ranchos, New Mexico, Los Ranchos de Albuquerque, New Mexico. But if you live here in Albuquerque in the zip area of 87107, do yourself a favor. If you happen to be here this weekend, well, not this weekend, but the weekend of Saturday, March 14th, and Sunday, March 15th, there's a kind of a rummage sale. Okay, and it's for being done for the center. So there will be people selling sage wands and things, and meditation cones and various incenses. There'll be people selling smoked cheese. From these people that sell them smoked cheese, oh man, I bought some rose hibiscus sugar smoked, strong stuff. Yes, living life as your higher self. That's in my book, Radiant Heart. Here's the thing. We are already the higher self. We've been dumbed down not to think that we are. That's why we see these young people practicing telekinesis. Why? Because they can't dumb themselves down. They're gonna step into the power that they were born with. We all have it. So as I was saying, If you can get to Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics, I'm there every Saturday, located at 2703 Broadbent Parkway, Northeast Suite J, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87107 1600, right behind Carrington College of Nursing on one side, which is off of Manoal. And that entrance is opposite the Sunset Cemetery. Pretty quiet over there. If you come off the other side, running parallel to, I think it's 25. Yeah, running parallel to 25 from the area of Candelaria and 2nd Street. If you want to go that route, then what you can experience is come in the more front side of it, Broadbent Industrial Park area, and just follow the road. Turn right at the stone sign, follow the road. You can't go anymore, bear left. When you bear left, you'll come to a building that says 2015 at the top. But as you pass it, you'll see the building marked 2703. Make a right turn. Go in there and park. Get out of the car. Walk. When you see Sweet J, come on in. Now, on Saturday, March 14th and Sunday, March 15th, I won't be there on Saturday, March 14th. That's my birthday weekend going in toward Monday, March 16th. But Saturday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., and then Sunday, March 15th, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. is the rummage sale. And we have this rummage sale usually about once a year. And we do this also as some of the proceeds from that goes to Resident Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics so that we can keep the doors open, so that we can have the rent paid on time. And we haven't missed yet, but something works out and we able to have rent being paid. So we can stay open, so we can offer classes and courses online as well as there for a little lower price than you'd normally get someplace else. And Michelle Vidal is the mother of Resident Essentials when she first started out back there in 2018, 2015, 2016. And I started teaching there, pendulum class. I taught a all day weekend course. It was on May 18th. I never forget, from 11 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. And it was called Mentoring Masters. So it was a Mentoring Masters program that I taught. I used the pendulum, I used numerology, I used Qigong exercises to get people ready for the higher self. Full title was Mentoring Masters Entering Mastery. See, we don't know that we're already masters. It hasn't occurred to us yet that we're born masters. We just have to reawaken to it. We're born into this, I'm gonna call it the silly matrix that keeps collapsing faster and faster and faster and faster. But those who are really in control of the matrix, it's not governmental people. It's divine source people. Divine sources are in control of man-made time, giving us universal time. Well, usually every Saturday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., I'm teaching just for $10, so everybody could participate. I'm teaching my original Creative Path Work meditation series, and I teach you how to meditate. I teach you what to do to make it possible for you to sit in meditation for 40 to 50 minutes. And I have students now, even new students, who've just been with me since January. They're learning how to sit for at least 45 minutes nonstop and opening up to the heart self through the heart chakra. Teaching people how to go through guided meditation. I'll guide them through a meditation. Then I'll take a good close at the auric fields of the students who are present at that time. And I'm saying, I'm going to let you guide yourself. what we will do together is deep breathe together. And I tell them, pick a color, pick something that made them happy, pick a house, pick an area, and use that as their meditation. Call it up from the subconscious mind. This is an opportunity to teach everybody how to reconnect with their higher self. And I've been teaching I started learning meditation in the middle of my freshman year. My freshman year in college, September 1970, all the way to spring 1971. But I was learning it before the winter hit, learning it in the fall in a wooded area. And I didn't understand why these other people were sitting in the woods. The guy who taught me wasn't even a student, but those were his students too, teaching us all meditation individually. Later, I was able to teach it. But even before I graduated, I experienced my third eye opening up on campus. It opened up painfully, but it opened. Lots and lots of things are happening. Then I experienced a Shaktipa, uh, April 2nd through April the 7th, 1977, through my Tai Chi senseis, Tai Chi Sifu's Indian meditation teacher who was dwelling in Texas. We were in New York. Ignite our Kundalini for us, better known as the Shaktipa. 11 years later, my third eye gets Mr. Chi is wrapping and braiding around the spine. But why am I saying this? I'm not selling me. What I'm telling you is this collapsing of energy is causing your chi to go around your spine and through the disc. So if you find yourself sitting at your kitchen or in the living room watching TV or reading a book, you get this dizzy sense. It's not just gas in your body. Your body is releasing chi up your Jacob's ladder, your seven chakras. And one day it gets to the crown and you see creation within yourself. And now it takes another 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years to go down the escalator, go down your spine, get to the root. But in the meantime, your life is going through changes, whether the chi is going up as well as coming down. Your personal affairs are changing. Your relationship to family, your relationship dynamics to family and life partners is changing. Co-workers is changing. Neighbors is changing. Got any fur children in the house? It's changing with them. Your dogs and cats and your feathered ones. It's changing all the time. You know, every second Sunday we have psychic fairs out here, same address, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Most readings go for 20 minutes for $30. I do spiritual drawings called Celestial I Ams for $60. If you ever are out here, come join us. Every second Sunday in each month, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is absolutely free. And guess what? If you come out here this year, already it's happening. I believe it started this month or next month. There's a celebration for Route 66 coming out of Chicago is one of them, coming all the way down and hitting 4th Street around here next to me and traveling all the way down into Central Avenue because Central Avenue runs east and west, and that's the other Route 66. And they meet. There's going to be celebrations all over the city, celebrations in Texas, celebrations in Colorado, celebrations in the state of Illinois, coming all the way down Route 66. There used to be a TV show. Look it up. Get your, was it Route 66? Get your kicks on Route 66. Maybe that was an omen for me telling me I was coming to live here. And here I was just a teenager watching that show. So if you want to get your kicks on Route 66, find out the different celebrations that are going. That's another thing to get in touch with. I think that route was happening since I think 1912 or 1940 something. If you look it up and you'll see it. Yeah, get your kicks on Route 66. And the guys drove a Corvette up and down Route 66. I don't remember if they were detectives or they called themselves vigilantes or something, but that was their experience. Now they're doing it all over the city, north, south, east, and west, or for central and fourth. All these restaurants will be celebrating. Well, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed today's Clear Blue Radiance. And our topic was, if you jump into another timeline, what would you choose to create? So, my question is, what would you choose to create if you're going to jump into another timeline? If you're going to create another timeline, what would you choose to create? And as you do that, listen to your higher self, because your higher self will tell you what is necessary for you to create. Your higher self will tell you what is important about you decreeing and affirming it first, then decreeing it. Have the image on the inside and live it and expect it to be lived just as you see it. Let the universe set it up for you. This is important now more so than any other time in your life. Something happened February the 20th to February 21st already in this month, this year. It was called the Great Cosmic Reset. Happened right around Chinese New Year. The Great Cosmic Reset. What are you resetting? We reset our watches, don't we? Now we're going to reset our biological clock within the body. We're going to reset how we think about life. Before we set things in motion, we're going to reset. That doesn't mean repeat what you used to do. um, the prefix re, like ray, like ra, like sun. Set yourself according to the sun. And re also as a suffix means to become elevated. Are you ready for a brand new elevation? Are we ready? Got to get more sleep, got to drink more water, got to eat healthier for ourselves. Some people need to eat meat. Some of us need to move away from meat and go vegetarian. Some of us need to move from vegetarian to veganism, but we're going to have to do it. Why? Because if we don't, the body needs more light. The photon particles are coming from the sun. The body needs more light. Are we willing to water ourselves with light, unconditional love, more prayers, affirmative prayers, affirmations, decrees? Are we willing to keep ourselves cultivated, aerated, hydrated? Are we willing to seek the proper change, the proper avenue in which we need to walk through the door to create an experience, as Golden Timeline 711 said, the liminal space, which is pure magic? That's what the word divinity actually means. It's the condition of the kind of magic, the divine life that you're putting in motion for yourself. And guess what? The people who you had problems with, they slide away. The people that you had problems with, they slide out of your life, and new people come into your life. Since Holly Hemmett mentioned it, I'm going to turn to my book. He's talking about chapter 23, y'all. You are living as your higher self in my book, Radiant Heart. 7 amazing pathways to connect, activate, and communicate with your higher self. And there it is. See where it says? Chapter 23, you are living as your higher self. I'm going to read you some of it before I sign off. And there's a lot of it here. So I'm going to read a little bit of page 171, but I'm also going to jump over to page 174, which is going to show you how to live as your higher self. Page 171. It has been revealed to you that you are the eternal I am presence known as your higher self. You are this magnificent presence that is metaphysical and spiritual by nature. All of the other parts of you are embedded within your trillions of cells and expands into all of the sacred places deeply within you. You no longer have to guess. You can now fully realize that you were accepting to wear the human face. That's why we got a human face and form. Human is mixed man, mixed mind, mixed body. Now in italics, no, it is this moment of self realization that you have realized that you are living as your higher self and can begin to clearly make all of your decisions from this standpoint. Think about that. It is this sacred part of yourself that is now beginning to come forward with more keys that will continue to allow you to live a better life because you will hear and see how to make better choices. So you remember people say we were children, we had imaginary friends we're talking to. Sometimes people get drunk and high and they think they're talking to an imaginary friend. No, that's your higher self saying, hey, okay, you didn't had enough chi, you didn't have enough chiba, you didn't had enough weed, you didn't had enough hashish. I need you to get up, shake that out your system. You had enough ashwagandha. I need you to don't keep going to the ceremony. You're the ceremony. Drink some herbal tea. Cleanse out your system. Maybe fast for a day. I tried to fast the other day and got dizzy as heck on the bus. I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Took a deep breath, got off the bus, and sat on the not the bench where the bus stop was, but you go down these steps into the Walgreens parking lot. And I basically sat on the steps. Somebody said, are you okay? I said, no, I'm fine. I'm just dealing with this 73-year-old body that's going through another level of change. You know what I'm happy for? I don't have any knee problems. I don't have any hip problems. I don't have any shoulder problems. Sometimes I get a little shake in the arm, but guess what? That's chi. It's trying to move through the body. Got to open up the blockages so the chi can move. Instead of my hand going like this, people my age going like this, I can go like that. Only a little tremor, but I'm letting the chi flow through my body. I'm back to doing Tai Chi, all kind of Tai Chi sets, so that I can open up myself again. So here's the thing. You will no longer have to guess, did you hear someone to speak to you in a resounding tone or even a whisper? You are in quest to know more of who you are becoming. The question might be, are all of us willing to become the higher self? If you work at becoming more of your higher self, then you're no longer becoming. It's not coming to you to be, it already is. You just wake up to it and start acting like your higher self. Now, as I stated earlier, we don't all awaken at the same time. If we did, you think the stuff that's crazy going on in the world now, everybody would be crashing cars, crashing into each other, running over each other. People that collected all these weapons and things, they be shooting each other, maybe shooting you by mistake or shoot themselves by mistake. Huh? Clouds would drop on the ground. water all the time. That's why snow is happening on the East Coast like it is. Pressure running through the earth. The day is coming, though, when we can be the higher self. If you have this book and many others giving you the same information, just not my book, someone else's book, then you should start to accept the fact that you are doing what? You are living as your higher self at this moment. Your higher self told you to get the book. My higher self told me to write this book. I could have written this book long ago, 10 years ago. Higher self, no, we ain't ready for you yet. You got to open up more. Then we're going to be like the cavalry and start coming. See, so it is no accident that there are books revealing this kind of information to the masses. But how will you absorb this reality in your daily existence? The best way is to remain conscious and aware that what you have is already here and you've already been living your life as the higher self. That's why your clothes are slimming down. That's me. Like, I got, stretch waistband now for 44-inch waist, still slipping down. Why? Because the higher self is a little slimmer than this guy. I would say it again, the higher self is a little slimmer than this guy. If you're slightly overweight, your higher self is going, we're not carrying this weight no more. We're going to streamline. Because when we streamline, I'm going to be like a thunderbolt in your life. You decided long before coming to this world to gradually stir about and awaken to this level of remembrance. Now, I suggest that we all start to spend more time in meditation because we will begin to see our internal roadmap and we can hear the proper guidance for ourselves. Often you look around and see others living their lives in a more expansive way and wonder, why not you? How come this is not happening? Fret not, fellow friend. I have often asked myself the same question. The answer is, it is left up to me and no one else. So, as long as you and I, along with millions of other people, are being respectful to each other and this world, are willing to shine our light and show that we are the ones who can, then we spread that self love and compassion with understanding into our surroundings. I remember a Native American elder told me, his name was Ted Silverhand, and he picked up on my weight. He says, I got 10 words for you written in two sentences, five on the top, five on the bottom. You know what those words were? If it is up to me, it shall be. Better yet, he said, it's up to me that it shall be. And I started thinking about it. It's up. What's up to me? Oh, it's up to me to get myself together to make it happen. What I've learned to pay attention to, if I want to know something about herbal remedies and things, all I got to do is look in my circle of spiritual sons and daughters. Most of my spiritual daughters are hip, they're onto this stuff. They got the information. They're helping me out. What are we doing to create change in our lives? What? So, if we're beginning to understand these things, we are the ones that should be in control of our own minds and hands. That's why sometimes it's not good to watch TV too much. Why? Because the TV is being pulsated with energy that we don't see. There's numbers that are actually pumped into that TV set through other sources. And if you can see it on the screen, so I keep my TV off sometimes, then I can see it. I can see something trying to come through. And I say, whoa, Nelly, not now. Not here. So it is time for you and I and everyone else to remember we are our higher self And we are really living as the higher self. We're just making adjustments. So I'm not going to keep going over that, but I'm going to tell you it's time to study some yoga, qigong, tai chi, sound frequencies with crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, tuning forks, and so much more. So you can use affirmations, affirmative prayers, prayers that you create from your own heart, and decrees. Speak it into the ethers, then sit in silence. Silence is the biggest chamber you shall ever experience. So, here's a short list to help you recognize when you are starting to live as your higher self. You are always humble and kind. You begin to or already are aware that you are attracted to drama free people. In other words, people that have drama going on, you don't want to be around them too much. You are not creating any drama for yourself or others. You are not seeking attention and just being neutral. You have confidence and self love that keeps increasing within you. You are more compassionate, understanding, and willing to shine your light. You are more productive than ever before by using your mind in different ways. You are living from your heart and remembering that your heart gives off more energy than the brain. That's already proven. We're thinking the brain is doing it. No, the heart is doing it. You do not spend time thinking too much. In fact, you are more relaxed mentally. You are not living in fear and no longer doubtful. You respect your heart and let it sense your entire environment. Every day you awaken from sleep, you feel better and feel good about your entire being. You start affirming and decreeing your life on a daily basis. The conversation within yourself is a silent conversation, but you are aware it is your higher self. You no longer get tripped up by the world of illusions. You can see life unfold correctly for you and for others. You are no longer being manipulated and pressured by world affairs because you see through all of the nonsense. In other words, it's nonsensical, makes absolutely no sense, and you're not following along that track. You feel more in touch with Mother Earth and all of her inhabitants. And last, your heart is becoming radiant and you are happier. When you start doing that, the next chapter tells you you start what? Your new life impacts the collective. That's humanity and beyond. You understand there's a bandwidth and you're on it. Which one you want to be on, a lower one or a higher one? And then you wake up and find out, bingo, you are the transcendental self, transcending all time. And you become what? The higher self. And that's the end of our uh, story. Goldilocks and the bears, right? Hey, we need to walk in the light. We are the hidden doorway. We are the portal. We are the gateways. We are reminiscent of the sun and the moon. We are the Anunnakis. We are the Divine Mother. We are the Divine Father presence. We are the unicorn. We are the phoenix. We are the dragon. We are the eagles. We are the dolphins. We're just moving with more light now within ourselves. So I just looked at the time and it was for a split second, it was 1:14:14. And many of you are probably waking up to double digit times. You might even have a double digit split by a number. You still got the double digits in there. So I'm going to sign off, everybody. Thank you for joining me today for Clear Blue Radiance with the topic, if you jump into another timeline, what would you choose to create? And this was something that I taught on Thursday, May 9th of 2024. And now, almost 2 years later, on Thursday, February the 26th, 2026. And today, date 26, represents the universal master number 11. So, take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Get plenty of rest. And if you feel like sweetening up your desserts, do it, hopefully with healthier foods. Use those spices accordingly. Drink more water, stay hydrated. Make yourself happier. Uplift yourself. Those of you who are in relationships, it is not your partner's responsibility to make you happy. That's your responsibility. But it is your responsibility to each other to be supportive to each other, be each other's cheerleader. So, until next time, even before I say that, I took down my website in October. CircleGrace1.us is no longer up there. However, I'm using a Linktree URL, http:// link, LINKTR dot EE /IAM, or lowercase, dot circle of grace one, or lowercase. And that link will take you to my Circle of Grace One Linktree page. And you'll see all the different ways that you can connect with me. I'm on something called Fanbase. I just taught for an hour last night, and I came on and I did a meditation here. Hey, so you should check that meditation that I did on the Circle of Grace One YouTube channel. I did it last night. I was on for about an hour. Man, it was smoking. So, and I did a special meditation. I talked further about meditation. Then I did a special guided meditation. I don't even remember what it was, but it was smoking. What did you say, Holly Hammond? Nanu Nanu. Yeah. Robert Williams, Mork and Mindy. All right. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing. As we are alive and well in the age of remembrance, look forward to see you in live format here or pre-recorded format. Have a great rest of your day, a great Friday, a great Saturday, and guess what? March the 1st is Sunday. 15 days after that, bing, bing, choo, choo. It's my birthday. All right, everybody. I'm getting out of here. Or maybe send me a birthday card. Or maybe send me some donations. You want to send me a donation? I'll send you a Cash App list, uh, Zelle, you name it, so you can send me something for my birthday. I usually don't ask. You don't have to. I'm going to be fine. All right. Be well, be blessed, and stay in grace with yourself.